Hello, people. This is Zippy, and welcome to my classroom. I'm so happy that you had the time to join me today. Thank you so much for all your love and everything that I have seen. Thank you so much. And remember to subscribe, okay? And tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. And yeah, let's keep growing this community. So today's topic is something very serious. I don't even know why I'm smiling, but it, it's um, it's something that's with us, and we just need to find ways to handle it. Okay. Did you know that we have even 3-year-olds who are being diagnosed with depression? Hmm? And did you know that suicide is the fourth leading cause of death among our teenagers? Yeah, it's sad. And so this topic is about anxiety and depression in our children. The numbers are rising because in 2020 it was 9.2% of children between the ages of 10 to 19, and then the next year, that's 2021, according to WHO, the number went up to 13%, and then last year that number is almost triple. It went up to 31.8%. It's scary. Honestly, it's too much. And if you're watching and you don't know what this means, anxiety is that very deep feeling of uneasiness, just constant worry and fear. Okay, that is anxiety. You're just uneasy. You don't even want to be. Don't want to engage in certain things. You can't take risks. You can't go to certain areas because you have so much anxiety. And then there's depression. Depression is that thing, where there's this dark cloud over you. You have immense sadness. You're just sad all the time. You don't know why. It feels like everyone is against you. The whole world is against you, and you don't see the point of living anymore. That is depression. And problem is with these two, anxiety and depression, they keep developing, and sometimes it gets to a point where the person is so crippled they will not even walk out of the house. They do not want to take a shower. They do not want to meet their friends. They just want absolutely nothing but isolation. They just want to sit by themselves, lock themselves up. And if you know someone like that, if you have been that person, um, let's try and take care of each other. Okay, be a good friend. Check on that person who's been away, quiet. You just don't know where they are. They don't show up for anything. You'll call, they never pick up. They don't return your calls. Just follow up. Get to know what these people are up to, lest we get to a point where it's too late to turn back. Okay. So let's start with the first thing, because initially I was thinking of having this episode to talk about how to manage anxiety and depression if you have it, and then realized, wait a minute, before someone even gets to that point, what has happened? So let's go back. Okay, now today's episode we're going to look at ways in which we can help our children, especially our teenagers, avoid getting themselves into this, because these are actually mental health disorders. Okay, and we don't want them developing into something bigger. So the first thing I'm going to say is foster a healthy or a positive home environment. And keyword here, home environment. Because you might say, well, everything else is good. They go to a good school, they have good friends. But what is happening at home? Are the parents constantly fighting? Are they just arguing, raising their voices at each other? That is not a positive home environment. We want to make sure they're growing in a house that has no violence, okay? And this goes a long way to just make sure that they're not anxious kids. They don't have depression later on in the future, that they come from a loving home. Things are happy, and one misconception, and in this video, let me just tell you, I'm going to be very direct, just brutally honest, okay, let's try and remove the brutal part, but I'm just going to be as honest as possible, because this is a serious issue, okay? And yeah, so many people think that, well, as a couple, a married couple, we are going to stay together. We fight every day, we hate each other, we almost stab each other, but we're just going to live together because we want both, our children to be in a family that has both parents. And it is not a guarantee that a family that has both parents is a positive kind of environment. It is not. And I'm not encouraging, separations or divorce. No, I am not. What I'm telling you is look at that home environment. If you are both unhappy and this, it's just a sad environment, you have reached a point where you're even violent, you're physically fighting, it's time to get help. If help is not working, you might as well go your separate ways, because you are doing more harm than good staying together for the sake of the kids. But as you can see, it's not helping. It's bringing a lot of harm, because you're together but you're not, cohesive. So what do? We really need a positive home environment, whether be it with one parent or two parents. The whole point is, and even no parents, because we have children growing up without parents. But whichever environment you have these kids in, make sure it is positive. Number two, physical health translates also to mental health. So encourage lots of physical activity for your children from as young as possible, okay? If they're able to start walking, walk with them, running, let them run, let them, go out there into fresh air, so that they're not always in the house, they just sit there. Whenever these feelings of anxiety start coming up, they have no, physical activity to help balance the chemicals in the brain. So you really have to have physical activity. Do it as a family. You could go for a hike, just a walk even, go do athletics, run, play basketball, play football, just something that is physical, okay? Not only is that good for the body, just being physically fit, but it helps relax the brain, and you, at the same time, you have a bonding session with your children. And remember, children learn from what they see more than what you tell them. So they keep seeing, you running, you playing that, and, doing these other things. They will also gain interest in that particular activity that you're doing, and they learn to just appreciate it, and it becomes a good hobby, a good interest for them to pick up. And you actually never know where it might take them. You might end up becoming pro athletes, okay? So very, very important. Next would also be healthy eating. And I have a big problem here. And as a teacher, you see what students eat at break time, and you wonder, there's just so much junk food. And the relationship between healthy nutrition and your mental health. Children must be fed well. You need to have a balanced diet, and not just run into what the children are telling you. Or they want to eat, Mom, I want Ringos, or I want KFC, I want whatever. It's up to you to give them a proper balanced diet, nutrition. Just make sure they're not eating junk every single day, that whatever they ask for, you give them. No, As a parent, this is your responsibility to make sure that your children are well fed, and well fed does not mean, all this expensive and, junky kind of food, but proper, food. So let's start with like the break box. What are they carrying to school for break? Or even at home, if the schools are closed, what are they eating? And you'll see very many, parents, we are busy, so we just give them money, go buy whatever you'll find at the canteen, and of course they'll buy junk. Okay, so what are you packing for them? If they've reached a point where they're able to pack their own break, what exactly is in that box? Get, a fruit. Okay, just have a fruit there that is, great value for, nutritional value. Okay, so if it's things like carbs, you can have, and I'm a big advocate for even packing leftovers, because if you, let's say, had chicken, that is great protein. Carbs, if you had, like potatoes, or, sweet potatoes, the ngwashes, arrowroots, ndoma, and teenagers do not like that. But if they have gotten accustomed to eating like that, it will not be a problem later on. Okay, so feed them in the right way at home. If they want, they want sausages all the time. I mean, this is how you start getting, obesity and other kinds of, problems. Okay, we know the health problems that come with that. So teach them how to eat well, so that even once they're done, they've gone to university, they have their own homes, they will always have proper nutrition, because this is very crucial in their brain development. So we have to make sure they're eating very, very well. And even if you are very busy as a working father, a working mother, take time, check, inform your nanny or whoever is at home with your child that this is what I want them to eat, or be the one to pack that food yourself, even the night before or early in the morning. Make sure this is what they're eating, and you're able, to monitor just that they're having the right nutrition. The next 2 points are, well, almost the same. Model healthy behavior and encourage healthy coping. And you'll see the word that keeps coming is healthy. So if it's healthy behaviors, your hope is that they're healthy. For example, reading, because like I said, they are learning from what they see. So if you're someone who's always on their phone, and then you come and tell your child, no, it's so good to spend so much time on phone. I mean, they're copying exactly what you're doing. Okay, how are you eating? If you're the one eating lots of junk food, your child will also do the same thing. Okay, what healthy behaviors do you have? Are you going to the gym? Okay, are you running? Are you jogging around? Those are the healthy behaviors that they're seeing and that they also want to attempt. But now also when it comes to healthy coping, because there are moments of stress, moments of anxiety, moments where you're scared of something, you don't know how things will go, you have exams, and so when your child is in that situation, they'll look at ways of coping. And if you're the parent who copes by, getting drunk, smoking, and any other unhealthy behavior, guess what? That's what your child is going to do when they're also going through a period of stress and anxiety. So you see lots of students, going into drugs and alcohol, just in kinds of substance abuse. Why? Because that's what they've seen the adults in their lives do. Where else are they getting this education from? Okay, so show them how to cope well. Tell them, yes, I also go through this, or I'm going through this at work, or I'm writing this, and it's just too much right now. And so let me, go to the gym and, let off some steam, or let me go visit my friends and just have a good time talking and just letting off what I'm going through. Just show them this, and they get to see, wait, there are very many healthy ways to cope with anxiety and stress, so that it doesn't build up and become something that we are not able to control. Another way to just prevent this anxiety and depression would be limit exposure to social media and to just media in general, because this actually has been scientifically found to build up anxiety in people, not just teenagers, even yourself. I don't know if you've noticed there are some points where when you're so much exposed, or you're on your phone for so long, or you've watched TV for such a long time, you start feeling funny, start feeling some kind of unease about you. And you can imagine as an adult, if you feel that, what a child is going to feel. So you have very young children who are on TV throughout, from morning till evening, and it does a lot of damage. Okay, so limit that exposure. Let your children see that there are other ways of entertaining yourself. You can go and create something, and not just say they are watching TV the entire time or being on your phone. And there's a lot of harm, and especially with the internet, there's just too much that children can be exposed to. Yes, you can put all these, firewalls and certain limits, but they find a way of, going to certain whatever's that you have tried to prevent them from. So don't think that they are not so smart. They're very, very smart, these children, especially the teenagers, and they will find multiple ways of finding the things that you're trying so much to keep them away from. So what I'm saying is because they will need their laptops or their phones for schoolwork, but have specific times when they're able to use. If they're able to go with them to school, just make sure you're able to monitor. And usually I will check. I want to know what exactly have you been watching, especially on YouTube and other platforms. There are some students I know, children who are not allowed onto certain sites, and they know that if you dare go to this particular site, there are consequences. Okay, so those are some of the ways, but the other point is just limit, because there's just too much there for those of us who didn't grow up in the age of internet, we got to know some of these things much later in life, but now they come to know them very early in life, and without the proper control and structures, they might just disappear into it, and we are left struggling with the consequences. And so I've seen things popping up on a teenager's phone, and you really wonder if the parents know that this child has been visiting certain sites, and you yourself can't really do anything about it. So we have to give them the right structures. I would also mention, have a safe and supportive environment. And once again, home environment. Let your child know that they're safe when they come home, that they're not looking for support somewhere else from a sugar daddy or a sugar mommy, that it is safe at home, that if I failed an exam, I am able to tell my mom and dad that I failed this, and they will not kill me, because so many students are cheating in exams because they're scared of taking a bad grade home. So they should know that they're supported no matter what. Just let this child know this is safe. We're in a safe space. If you've grown, you've just raised your child in a proper environment, and unfortunately, they get pregnant when they're a teenager, or if it's a boy, they make a girl pregnant, they should feel safe enough at home to come and tell the parent. Let them not be looking for support systems elsewhere, with their friends who are not mature enough to give them the right advice. let them feel that yes, I have all the support. No matter how bad things in my life are going, I can always run back to my parents because they'll always be there for me. Okay, very, very crucial. And in line with that, have open communication, because they would feel that they can tell you anything and everything. And open communication does not just mean you tell the children what they want to hear. No. Okay, we have taken parenting, gentle parenting the wrong way. But being open means I should be able to tell this child when they've gone wrong and how they can change their path. Okay, so having open communication is not a way of saying that we are communicating, all the nice things, my child, everything is fine, even when things are not fine. When you need to discipline them, they have to know I'm disciplining you because of this, so that they see that you're very objective. You do not hate on that child, but they are seeing that, okay, this is a problem, this is what I did that has made my parents, my teachers, or anything else, these other people in my life get very angry at me. And you see instances where parents are called to school because of a disciplinary issue, but we always, as parents, tend to take the side of the child, okay, and not want to go into the issue. So we make it subjective that, oh, it's my child, my child, my child, but you're not looking at the problem. Your child was caught doing this, your child has been doing that. What are we doing to grow this child in a holistic approach? Just make sure that they become valuable members of the society in future. Okay, so some parents will just say, these teachers don't like my child, let me take my child to another school. But that school has what, 200, 500, 1,000 students. Why will they just pick on your child? So let's have proper open communication to address that problem, and let's let our child see where they went wrong. Let them apologize. Let them find better ways of improving. If it's their grades, let them set better targets. Just have that open communication, but it must start from a young age. And the final thing I'm going to say, if everything else has not worked, or maybe you started late and eventually you notice that your child has extreme anxiety, they're going through depression, seek professional help. And I will repeat, seek professional help. We have, especially us as Africans, we don't like to look for help, and you're scared of what people are going to say about you. So people will see me going into the guidance and counseling office. People will see me visiting a therapist, and it's going to harm our reputation as a family. But are you not seeing the harm that you're causing your child if they don't get help in good time? You need to seek help. If you as a parent, you feel that I have anger management issues and it seems to be rubbing off into my children, seek help yourself. Okay, there's even family counseling that you can also go over. Let's not wait until it's too late, and then you start seeing that your child has been cutting themselves, they have cut marks all over, they have certain funny behaviors that they have started coming up with, they commit suicide. Then we have a life that is lost, all because you did not want to seek help. Anxiety and depression is a huge part of our society right now, and we have to accept it. We cannot bury our heads in the sand and say it's not there, or it can't happen to me, it can't happen to my child, it can happen to anyone. But what can we do to reduce these numbers? These numbers are scary. Okay, what can we do? There's just so much. And as an adult, these children did not choose to be born there. You made that decision to have a child. So let's raise these children in the proper environment. Let's make sure they're able to cope very well. They grow up into healthy, mature young adults. Okay, and yeah, we've come to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for sticking here till the end. I know it was a heavy heavy topic, but I hope you've gotten something. If you know anyone who's going through this, please recommend the video to them, and like, share, subscribe, comment, engage with me in the comment section. Let me know how exactly you've been able to ensure that you're not part of these statistics, or your children are not part of these statistics that are very, very scary right now. And yeah, hope this has been a lesson that you won't forget.